Hey friends, Steve Guttenberg here, and I am the Audiophiliac. Today I want to talk about great audio writers. Now I'm going to start with Harry Pearson. I already did a video about him, but Harry Pearson founded the Absolute Sound. He was a great writer. He made audio compelling. You read a Harry Pearson review of a speaker or an amplifier, and you just had to hear it. You just had to. You just had to. Okay, so I will link to the Harry Pearson video below, so moving on. I will bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award for high-end audio writing to Art Dudley from Stereophile magazine. He's been doing it for a really long time. I don't know, 20, 25 years or something. And you know, it may not be obvious to the readers, but if you've been writing about audio for a long time, how do you make it interesting? It's another speaker, another amplifier, another turntable. They sound good. They don't sound good. How do you make it the reader wants to keep reading you? That takes talent. That takes real craftsmanship, and that's what Art Dudley has. Because he tells stories, he makes it good. He's just a joy to read. So, hats off to you, Art Dudley. And you know, continuing with people who are great with words, my friend Jonathan Scull, who no longer is writing for Stereophile, but he wrote for Stereophile for a long time before that, the Absolute Sound. And Jonathan is and was a poet. He was like Harry cubed or squared or something. He just took it up. And Harry set a high bar, but Jonathan, he told stories. His craftsmanship, everything about a Jonathan Scull review was just so perfect. It's like everything fit. He took angle, you know, he just found a way to tell you about a thing that just made you want to look forward to the next Jonathan Scull review. Ken Kessler, who currently writes and I think has always written for Hi-Fi News and Record Review, a British magazine, he's another guy. I remember reading his reviews of Krell and Apogee and various LS35As in the 80s, or maybe it was the 90s, and man, Ken Kessler just did it. He had an energy level that really came through in his writing. So Ken, he's definitely part of the Mount Rushmore of audio writers. You know, in the present time, though, and Ken's still writing, but in the present time, Herb Reichert, my friend, good friend, Herb and I talk pretty much all the time. Herb is a storyteller of the highest order. I mean, we do it all the time with each other, but he can somehow, his voice in his reviews for Stereophile have that. They're Herb Reichert turned up to 11. You know, he just packs so much information into his review. He's using, you know, if he's reviewing a speaker, he'll use different amplifiers. Or if you're reviewing an amplifier, he'll use it with different speakers. He works really hard to just give you a lot of information. And of course, his opinions. So Herb's up there too. You know, then John Darko. Now, in an industry of old people, most of the writers I refer to, and most of them I will refer to in the continuing here, are let's say 55 plus. So then there's John Darko, who's 48, and that actually is a significant difference. John Darko, Darko Audio, he has a younger perspective, which I really, really like. He's a really good writer. He started making videos not long ago, and I wasn't so crazy about his videos at first, but I think they've really come up to speed. I think he's really good at explaining. And in a video, you can explain things that you really can't do as well in just text on a page or on a screen. And he's showing you things and touching it and stuff. He touches things a lot. I've noticed that. He's a touchy kind of guy. And that's cool, because audio is about touching, you know. But primarily, his writing skills are really good, and his perspective is different from the older generation. So he's up there for me. Let's see, Mikey Fremer, it's for Stereophile. Well, what can I say about Mikey? I mean, he is the czar, the king, the god of all things analog and turntables and vinyl. I mean, he has spearheaded the vinyl renaissance. He works it. He's traveling to shows and dealers and doing demos and setup things and stuff, but his knowledge of all things analog is deep. When you're reading a Mikey Fremer review, you learn something. You learn something about a turntable or a cartridge, and you can tell he does his homework. He's been doing it a really long time. He shows no signs of slacking off. You know, J. Gordon Holt started Stereophile. He's the founder of Stereophile, and he wrote many reviews. And I wish I could say he was influential on me, but he's not. But people, when I did the one on Harry Pearson, people said, well, what about J. Gordon? I go, you know, I can't take it away from that. He was up there. Stereophile precedes the Absolute Sound, so he really did the first audiophile magazine on the planet, as far as I know. Could be wrong there. But, you know, I wish I could say he influenced me or did something for me, but no, he didn't. Of course, the guy who's the current editor, John Atkinson, well, John is the measurement guy. And John and I are on opposite poles on this. He believes strongly in measurements, and I believe strongly against measurements. But I think we're friends. We are friends. And I think he's just done an amazing job keeping that magazine moving forward. His measurements are really informative, and I think they keep the writers who know that the product they're writing about is going to be measured, so they can't just go off in a a trip, because they know that whatever they say will be somehow referenced to the measurement, so it kind of keeps them grounded. And John's just done an amazing job keeping Stereophile relevant and moving forward over the decades, literally decades. And by the way, the Records to Die For, which is coming up soon, we got an email today about writing new reviews. I just love that section of the magazine. There was a compendium of all the Records to Die For, which are short music reviews, album reviews, all together in one magazine, which immediately sold out. And it was so good. Such a great read. If you can find a copy of that, it's worth checking out. And that's one of my favorite things. Every year it comes up, the Records to Die For section in Stereophile. I don't want to leave anybody out. But while I'm thinking, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do a quick music review. I didn't say that at the head, but it is another 50th anniversary, and this time it's the 50th anniversary of the Rolling Stones' Beggar's Banquet record. Now, it's interesting. In the US, the cover looked like this. Like that. And then in the UK, it looked completely different, and it looked like that. The toilet cover. The interior of the record was the same for the United States and England and the rest of the world. Sympathy for the Devil, Street Fighting Man, Parachute Woman, Factory Girl. All these great songs, but just the sound of that record. Oh my God, it's so dirty and bluesy and gritty and just, it's such an amazing sounding record that it's held up over time. This new 50th anniversary edition doesn't have any extra tracks or all that other stuff that usually you get on a 50th anniversary, because they're the Stones. They don't play that game. But the sound of this one, I just compared it to the SACD, which was mastered in 2003. This is just the SACD that came out in 2003. I think this CD sounds better than the SACD. It just sounds richer. It sounds more analog. It's just got more oomph, more balls, more juice going on in this new CD. So if you're at all a Stones fan and you've never gotten around to Beggar's Banquet, you're right in time. Check out the 50th anniversary. It comes out very soon, or it's maybe out by the time I put this video up. But that is, I think that's, talk about masterpieces. I think that is the Stones' masterpiece. I really like Aczel and Main Street, but if I had to pick the one Stones record for all time, the Desert Island Stones LP, it would be Beggar's Banquet. So as I was talking, I was rummaging through my head trying to find more audio writers that are really important to me. Peter Aczel, the guy who started the Audio Critic and did a lot of the great writing for Audio Critic, you know, there was a magazine that was in the 70s and 80s. That was another one that I really look forward to each issue, and he was a critical critic. Peter Aczel would tear the crap out of everything. he showed no mercy. When you read a Peter Aczel review, you didn't have to wonder, did he like it? I mean, he was intense in destroying things he didn't like and praising things that he liked. And it just had a good flow. The feel of the magazine, all the white, no pictures kind of thing. Yeah, format that looked really cool, different from everybody else. Whether I agreed with him or not, not so much. But, you know, each to their own. So I think I've done it. I hope I haven't left anybody out. If I have left anybody out, I apologize. Any writers, that is. So I think we're done for today. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Check out my playlists of, like, I have playlists of amplifier, electronics reviews. No, actually I don't. Headphone reviews, speaker reviews, recommended music recordings, all kinds of stuff. And come back often. See you soon.